everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun. Sorry, I think the camera's kind of turned. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to talk about and sort of kind of review the Andor teaser trailer released today. Today is the start of Star Wars Celebration. Will be going on today, I think, till Sunday. So every day there'll be something released. A lot of information came out today. So I made like kind of just little informations about little tidbits, like the how the Mandalorian will be premiering in February. So you know, it's not like it's that long of a wait. Or how Ahsoka will also be coming out next year. How John Watts' new show that's basically called the Skeleton Crew. We have no clue what that's about. That's coming. More information on Obi-Wan. But the big trailer, outside of the Willow trailer, was this teaser for Andor. Now, Diego Luna is Cassian Andor. And it's so funny. I first saw Diego Luna, very much like Pedro Pascal. I saw them both on Narcos. And it's so hilarious that, like, I saw Pedro Pascal on Narcos, dude, you know, the first couple seasons of Narcos, and I was like, dude, this dude's amazing. And then I see him on other things, and, you know, I'm like, oh, well, now I just watch now when I hear Pedro Pascal's in something, you know, I'm like, I'm excited for him, because I saw him in this show, and he hasn't disappointed me. Same thing with Diego Luna. I saw him in Narcos Mexico, and he was so good in that. And then, I can't remember, I don't know if Narcos Mexico, I can't remember if I saw him in Rogue One first, then Narcos Mexico, or the other way around. All I know is he was great in both. And Rogue One is an interesting movie because depending on like your preference in Star Wars, Rogue One could potentially be your favorite Star Wars movie because it takes away a lot of the more fantastical elements. Outside of that one scene where Darth Vader shows up and murders a bunch of fools, most of Rogue One is such a down-to-earth, gritty. It's about as gritty and it's about as grimy as you imagine Star Wars can get, if you know what I mean. Like, Mandalorian touches, like, near those kind of ranges of grittiness, but Rogue One was a war movie. It was a war movie. Like, it was like legit. It's a war movie that just so happens to be taking place in the Star Wars universe. Like, if Star Wars was made by another franchise, or maybe it was R-rated, this could, like, Rogue One would be one of those World War II war movies. It's a story about the grittier, the muckier side of the rebellion. And all rebellions are like this. No matter how noble a rebellion is, I don't care what it is, revolution, rebellion, whatever you want to call it, there are going to be some parts of it that aren't 100% good. There are going to be some members of that rebellion who aren't 100% doing what they should be doing, who are doing some shady shit, who are doing awful shit, but they're on your side and they're pushing in your direction, and you can't afford not to have them. You're going to have Saul Guerrero. You know, if you've watched the Clone Wars and Rebels, you know, Saul, he was like this fucking hardcore militant, you know, like rebel fighter. And he wasn't like, he was with the rebels, but he was like fighting his own like war. You know what I mean? He was ruthless and he was brutal and he was a lot more, you know, I'm going to give them what they deserve. And there's a little bit of that in Rogue One. I remember, like, Rogue One, one of the first scenes you see with Diego Luna's Cassian Andor, which is such a shocking scene. I remember it was when he's, like, getting information from this guy. They both get caught, and he's running from this guy, and, like, they're both running, and at a certain point, they both get kind of at a spot where they're, like, they're talking, and he's just like, it's okay. I won't let anything happen to you. And he kills him. Now, he kills this dude because this dude has the information that he has. And, you know, he's like, if this dude gets caught, he's going to rat us out. But I can't have that happen. So he killed this dude. He killed an unarmed man who could potentially be a comrade simply to protect information. And it kind of like went, yeah, dude, this this whole rebellion thing, dude, leading a rebellion, fighting against there are things that are done in these kind of things that aren't good, that aren't happy, that aren't smiley smiles. Like, dude, it's you take the good with the bad, and it showed a darker side, a grittier side of the rebellion. Now, you know, the rebellion at this time period, has been talked about, a lot. Star Wars Rebels went into a lot of the rebellion stuff, a lot of stuff that was going on before the rebellion really broke out. And, well, of course, the catalyst, one of the big catalysts was the information that got out from here. But in the end of the day, Rogue One was such a weird movie because at the same time, while I could give it all these compliments and there were some great characters, and the way it was shot was very well done. Like I said, it was shot like a war movie. And I love that about it. It put more emphasis on the war part of the Star Wars. But the problem with Rogue One is that at the end of the day, it's a movie that sometimes, depending on my mood, it doesn't need to exist. It's only there to explain why the Death Star has that glaring hole weakness on it. That's really what it's only there for. Like at the end of the day, and you knew everyone was gonna die because none of these characters show up later. So that's kind of one of the problems with a lot of Star Wars stuff when they do go back in time. It's like that it can't make it to a certain point. So it's like, at the back of your skull, you're just like, well, how much could really go down? It's like, I know they're not going to affect the bigger, Star Wars story, which sometimes is annoying, but it is what it is, And when they announced that they were going to do an Andor show, I was a bit, okay. I mean, I could sort of get what they're trying to do, but then, I saw Narcos, like I said, Narcos Mexico, love Diego Luna. I was like, damn, he's such a good actor. I'd love to see him do even more. And his character, Cassian, was a very interesting character. He lived in the shades of gray. He was a tortured soul. Clearly, this is a man who had seen a lot, who been through a lot. And, he's just keeping it together. A man who's willing to do almost whatever it takes for what he believes in. And, diving into the psyche of that kind of a person and what he's been through and what got him to that point is very interesting. Especially since it seems like this show is really, the main focus of this show, other than Cassian and showing his origins and showing how he got to where he was when Rogue One came around, is to focus on showing the rebellion build. Because, we really didn't get to see it. We've seen glimpses of it. We've seen a lot of glimpses of it in, I'd say Clone Wars. Not Clone Wars, Rebels. If you've watched Rebels, you've seen glimpses of it. You've seen, we focused on our characters in Rebels, and, you heard about the rebellion building in other locations. But it seems like this movie is really, Andor is really going to focus on the sparks. The real sparks of rebellion and how it starts and how it grows and how it's like a building tie. Rebellions don't just happen overnight. People don't just wake up, grab their weapons, everyone just agree in one day and start fighting against the power. It builds. It builds, and frustration builds amongst people, and certain people in other positions start to feel something, and the way that they framed the trailer was we're gonna see different layers of people's perspective on the Empire, and you see someone who seems like they're in more higher ups and they're in these little banquet looking thing. You see someone who seems like that she's a higher officer. You see someone who looks like he's a ground troop, and you see the people who are just here. And the vibe in the trailer, and I loved it, was this vibe of boiling over, of we're not gonna take it. You can just kind of feel the boiling, the anger, the people wanting to rebel. You can feel it building, and I thought they did a good job of showing that in the trailer. And by the time you get to the tail end of it, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be an interesting show. It seems like they're really they're putting a lot at least from what I can tell, at least from the trailer, it seems like it's gonna be more of a drama, more of a crime, I don't even know how to say military drama, Turn, there's a show on AMC called Turned. It's about these guys who were George Washington spies or whatever. It's gonna be something like that, where it's gonna be this drama about the circle, because like, I mean, hell, because like that's just the vibe I got. They really didn't push any action set pieces. It doesn't look like that's gonna be the thing. It looks like it's gonna be a character drama based sci-fi that happens to be in Star Wars universe, and like I can't wait to see how they go about it. I think they say it's coming out in like August, so it's not that far away. Like, man, I am excited for Andor. Like, I thought I was gonna be excited for Andor because like when they started talking about the idea of it, I'm like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. So I dug the trailer. What did you guys think of the Andor trailer? What do you guys think of the Rogue One, thing anyways? But I do like the fact that, like I say, this show really is putting more emphasis on the war aspect, at least from the trailer. It seems like it's putting emphasis, like this entire show is about the sparks of the rebellion, how it really got going, how the common people and other people really felt that boiling over and really just was like, we're not gonna take this shit anymore. Fuck this. Cause like I say, rebellions don't happen overnight. People don't like shit like that boil, shit like that builds. I mean, you can maybe feel the temperature rising a bit, but even then, it doesn't just happen. And I feel like this show is gonna be the show to really dive into like what really pushed it up and what really got that thing going and and then Luke, and then like, so like the bigger people, Luke, Han, Leia, they come in and like take it to the next level to where they can actually do something. But the actual embers, like the spark, is going to be shown in this show of just the unsettledness, just the unsettledness. I don't even know if that's a word. Just everyone's unsettled. Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show again. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.